Why wasn't a real hyena used in Birds of Prey? What was the reason for Harley Quinn's shorts being digitally altered? And did Margot Robbie actually make the scary leap in the Ace Chemicals scene? Hi, I'm Joy, and let's dive right in, Puddin'. It's a dog's life. If you've read the comics and watched the cartoons, you'll know that Harley has two pet hyenas, aptly named Bud and Lou. In Birds of Prey, she was finally given a furry companion, Bruce, named after you-know-who. Funnily enough, the filmmakers actually considered getting a real hyena on set to play the part of Bruce. Speaking in a behind-the-scenes featurette, Margot said the following: "Apparently, if this hyena touches anything, it considers it to be his. So we're like, okay, can he sit on a couch? And they're like, yes, but then it's his couch. Like, he will eat it. And if someone tries to take it away from him, he'll, like, eat you." Deciding not to risk any limbs to a hyena's teeth or fit of giggles, they quickly scrapped the plan for a real-life hyena. But they still needed to have something in its place to help the characters interact with. So they got the next best thing: a dog. A German Shepherd, to be exact. This good boy was such a pleasure on set and provided all the kisses to Margot and the co-stars. Then, when it was time for post-production, the team at Weta turned the dog into a hyena and digitally mapped all of its moves. Hopefully, the pup got all the treats and love for being the star of the show here. The crazy fall. Unless you're Tom Cruise, you're not jumping out of a helicopter for a movie. With VFX and CGI being as advanced and far along as they are, why would you even risk your life for a death-defying scene like that? Well, while Margot wasn't pushed out of an actual helicopter in Suicide Squad, she did go through the motions and experience what it would be like. Filmed on a green screen and assisted by wires, she actually felt as if she was falling to the ground backwards. Yes, she was supported and never in any real danger or threat, but you still can't fool your body when gravity kicks in and it thinks you're about to become a pavement sandwich. Interestingly, Margot did say that she wanted to do most of her own stunts in the movie, because what's the point of signing up for a film if you're only there for 40% of your own scenes? Judging by how James Gunn is valuing practical effects over CGI in the upcoming Suicide Squad movie, it sounds like she'll have more opportunities to sink her teeth into larger-than-life stunts. Are you looking forward to seeing her tearing it up on the big screen again? The altered, rear. Inspired by Harley Quinn's New 52 comic book look, Margot's outfit in Suicide Squad was certainly more sexualized than what we've seen recently. One of the more surprising events, though, is how her shorts were actually digitally altered for some later TV spots, as spotted by eagle-eyed fans. In this case, it wasn't to sexualize the character even more, but to reverse the effect for the family audience. Margot admitted that she knows nothing about it, telling Smalsy's surgery, "I didn't know about that. Having been there on the day, they were very small, but wow, I wonder if they did. That would be extensive photoshopping to do." The truth here is that Warner Brothers tried to move away from its adult approach after Batman vs. Superman's harsh critical reception, so they likely edited Margot's outfit to make it look more family-friendly. It's common knowledge that the studio tinkered heavily with Suicide Squad and tried to make it less gritty and more appealing to the wider audience, because the first trailer for the movie certainly showed tinier shorts than what we saw in the final trailers. Well, she has an entirely different wardrobe now, so it's unlikely that this will ever be an issue again in the future, right? The makeup ordeal. Did you know that most actors dislike playing comic book characters because of the amount of time they spend in the makeup chair? While Margot certainly has it easier than most, and didn't need to sweat it out in a bulky batsuit, she had to undergo a grueling process to ensure Harley looked just right on screen, every single day. As for the leads of the movie, there were no days off for her, so Margot had to sit in the makeup chair for 3 hours as the team painted her skin white, applied temporary tattoos and the wig, and got her into her costume. That's like the running time of Titanic. Her co-star Jared Leto went through the same process to play the Joker. However, since he was method acting and stayed away from the cast for the most part, the two weren't exactly having a catch-up while the makeup team did their job. You know, it would have been a lot easier if Harley had just worn her iconic outfit from Batman, the animated series, right? Then she wouldn't have had to get most of her body painted or the tattoos added. What these actors go through to deliver performances for us, but that's why they get paid the millions, right? The origin of Harley Quinn. Suicide Squad provided the definitive origin story for Harley. We saw how she fell in love with the Joker and basically followed him into the abyss. Plus, he wanted her to be like him as well, bleached skin and all. In a pivotal scene from the movie, he leaps into the vat of acid at Ace Chemicals and encourages Harley to do the same to prove her love and devotion for him. And this metamorphosis scene was brought to life by a solid mixture of VFX and CGI, as well as a creamy liquid that looked an awful lot like spoiled milk. Unsurprisingly, the sequence wasn't actually filmed in a chemical plant. The background for Ace Chemicals was added in post-production while the bulk of the scene was filmed in a green room. However, the vat was actually there, and Margot did swan dive into it. Thanks to some wire work, they were able to capture the emotions as she plummets into the pool where Mr. J awaits her. Of course, the vibrant colors that surround the Joker and Harley forming a heart were all added in post, even though we'd like to think they're real. However, this isn't the only Ace Chemicals scene to play a crucial role in Harley's character development arc, and we'll be covering that next. A chemical explosion of rainbows. While Ace Chemicals was symbolic for her transformation into Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad, the chemical plant served a different purpose in Birds of Prey. The explosion signified the end of her relationship with the Joker. She lit the match on their toxic love affair and let it go up in smoke. It was also a pivotal scene that the filmmakers put a lot of time and effort into getting right. Visual effects producer Anne-Marie Griggs revealed the research and detail the team went into, saying, "As we developed the Ace Chemicals sequence, we went through many reference photos of chemical plant and refineries throughout the world. We also referenced images of crazy explosions and powdery-type fireworks so we could take elements and build them into one shot showing Harley's grand statement to Gotham." It goes without saying that no real chemical plants or refineries were harmed during the filming of Birds of Prey, but the effect certainly popped on screen. It didn't look harsh, as the rainbow of colors captured Harley's quirky personality and appeal. It's an example of how effects don't always need to be ultra-realistic or serious, but they do need to be symbolic and act as a metaphor of what the filmmaker wants to convey. In this instance, everyone understood exactly what Harley was trying to say when she lit Ace Chemicals up. It was a massive middle finger to the Joker and their time together. See ya, Mr. J. The intense office fight. One of the most exciting battles in Suicide Squad is seeing the anti-heroes take on Enchantress's monsters. The fight starts in the streets and ends up in an office building. The reason for this was to make it look more three-dimensional, as the monsters could drop in from the ceiling, through the windows, or even by walking in through the door. You never knew where they'd come from, instantly getting you excited for the possibilities ahead. While it was predominantly stunt work that took the lead here, the VFX team were responsible for letting off explosions for glass walls, windows, and using the wires to trigger other effects that enhanced the battle. As a result, this sequence had to be carefully choreographed to ensure everyone's safety, while still looking totally cool on screen. In a behind-the-scenes feature, production designer Oliver Shaw said the following: "Alex Marinkovich, our art director, she did an amazing job of putting that all together and working with stunts to coordinate all the logistics that were needed for that. Because also you need to manufacture stuff like 3-4 times." Margot played a big role in this action scene, as she had to remember the extensive choreography while the explosions and other effects took place around her. And just like we mentioned before, she wanted to do most of her stunts here. She was spinning around and smacking monsters with her bat while still maintaining all the Harley sass that we adore and appreciate. Honestly, is there anything that she can't do? Would you like to see us cover Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn even more? Let us know which topics you'd like to see videos of. And while you're at it, give this one a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for some more awesome videos. Thanks for tuning in.